All right, so an absolutely crazy chapter here, even crazier than last week's chapter. A lot of reveals in this one, but also straight up confirmation on a few of the things that we were talking about last week. It's actually kind of weird seeing it play out exactly how we thought it would. But let's get into it. On the cover, Aokiji and Van Augur have kidnapped Pudding. Kuzan and Augur of the Black Pirates is the title of this cover. They are also on the Blackbeard pirate ship. So yeah, there we go. Finally getting the confirmation that that was in fact Kuzan with the Blackbeard pirates who invaded Chocolate Town, completely froze it over, froze Cracker, and then stole Pudding. Crazy. We've been speculating about this for like the last 3 or 4 weeks now, so it's nice to just get some confirmation here, but this isn't going to be the end of it. We're going more into this in the actual chapter, but let's keep going. Around half of the chapter is Law versus Blackbeard. Law uses Amputate and Blackbeard counters, so this is awesome too. Law versus Blackbeard is not getting off paneled. It's actually happening and we're seeing it. And Law using Amputate here, I think this is like the same thing that Law did against Virgo on Punk Hazard, right? Blackbeard is just, obviously way stronger than Virgo, so he's able to counter it. While they fight, Pudding is a hostage on the ship of Blackbeard. It's not confirmed whether she has awakened her third eye. We only see her locked in a cell, as she tells some of Teach's subordinates, if Mom were alive, she would shut you all up. All right, a lot to unpack here. So this is like one of the extremely rare instances where the cover story is directly playing into the chapter itself. And this is great because I really didn't want to wait for these developments. So first of all, it's talking about her third eye being awakened. This goes back to what we talked about in the previous chapter, because we were speculating about, so why was she kidnapped? And we thought, okay, because it's probably because Kuzan with the Blackbeard pirates, under Blackbeard's orders, took her because of her third eye, because it was said that if the third eye awakens, on a third eye race member, then they essentially gain the voice of all things, and with that they would be able to read poneglyphs. And that's like super important, obviously, because the only way to find Laugh-Tale is to read the 4 road poneglyphs, and Blackbeard is aware of that, so that's why he stole her, because that means that Blackbeard still doesn't have a method of reading the poneglyphs yet. And it goes back to what he was saying to Law at the end of the previous chapter, where he was like, of course Kaido would have had at least one. How many have you found? I'll take all your road poneglyphs. So yeah, he's actively going after Laugh-Tale and the One Piece right now. But anyway, Pudding saying here that if Mom were alive, she would shut you all up. I don't know if that's necessarily confirming that Big Mom's dead, because it's One Piece and you never really know for sure. And how would Pudding really know better than anyone else? It's not like she went to Wano and examined the corpse or anything. Not even like she could if she wanted to, 'cause she's technically in lava right now. But I always think back to chapter 1040, like as Big Mom is being defeated by Law and Kid, she says, "Don't you dare assume that this'll kill me." So either that was just her talking crap in the last moments of her life, or that was legitimate info from Oda showing that she's not gonna die from that, because also her homies are technically still alive, at least Zeus is. And then I guess that doesn't necessarily indicate that she is alive or dead, because a couple chapters back Hancock said that even if she were to die, her petrification would still be active. And then also I think Kazenbo was still alive after Kanjuro was dead, right? So I don't think it's always black and white with these devil fruit abilities and deaths, but I don't know, at this point it's kind of like Schrodinger's Big Mom, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was alive, but I would also be totally cool with it if she wasn't. Blackbeard pirates versus Law's crew, they fight. So yeah, we're actually seeing Law's crew take on Blackbeard pirates, and we were wondering about this in the previous chapter, and it's probably not going to go well because Law's crew is severely underpowered at this point, especially compared to the Blackbeard pirates. Akainu heard about the ongoing fight between Law and Blackbeard on Winter Island. Whoa, another big reveal here. So first of all, the island that they're at is Winter Island. I think that's like a new reveal. I don't think we heard about this one yet. But how is Akainu hearing about this? Well, I'm pretty sure because of Kuzan. As we just talked about, it is confirmed that he is a part of Blackbeard's crew at this point. And, I've been talking about this the last couple weeks as well, but I think that Akainu himself is in Sword, but also Kuzan is as well. So if you go back to chapter 592's cover story, we see Akainu with his shirt off pruning this bonsai, and on his right arm, he has a sword tattoo. And I'm pretty sure that is indicating that he is a part of Sword. But also going back to when we found out that Kuzan was affiliated with Blackbeard in the first place, it was like one of the Gorosei talking to Akainu, and he was like, And what of Kuzan then? He's dedicated his considerable power to assisting Blackbeard of all people, a fine message that sends about the Marines. And Aki Inu was like, that fool is long gone from the ranks. Whatever he does now has nothing to do with us. And it's very possible that Aki Inu was just capping at that point, because Sword like goes so deep that they even keep information from the Gorosei. And I think that might represent the dichotomy between CP0 and Sword, because CP0 is like Aegis, which is like the shield, and then the other end is Sword. So I'm thinking that Kuzan is definitely a part of Sword, and he is feeding this information directly to Aki Inu. And I think that also goes back to their battle on Punk Hazard and why we didn't see it, because I think there was like a special stipulation to it. It was like winner becomes the fleet admiral, but then loser goes undercover in Sword. And I think that's what Kuzan is currently doing right now. He is undercover with the Blackbeard pirates, actively helping them get the road poneglyphs so that they can ultimately find Laugh-Tail. And then once that happens, I guess that's when Kuzan, reveals that like, hey, I've been undercover this whole time, and he's helping the Marines get the location of Laugh-Tail and everything before, a Yonko does or whatever. And this also could mean that he is the man marked by flames that Kid was talking about. Obviously, he's looking for the road poneglyphs and looking for Laugh-Tail. So maybe. On Egghead Island, Bonnie's raged, changed the age of the group to 4. So I guess this also goes back to the previous chapter as well, when we saw Luffy, Chopper, Jinbei, and Bonnie run into one of Vegapunk's like police pacifistas that look like Kuma, and he was like firing off lasers, and as Luffy was about to fight back, Bonnie was like, that's my daddy, please don't hurt my daddy. And I guess this is the result of her raging, like she just uses her fruit ability to change them all into 4-year-olds. And I don't think this necessarily means that she's like could defeat them or whatever using her ability, because obviously Law showed that like you can just muscle through devil fruit abilities with Haki, and for sure Luffy and Jinbei could do the same thing here. Bonnie says Kuma was sentenced to life in prison back then. She also says that he's from a special race. Whoa, that's a big reveal right there. So I guess that explains why Kuma looks all weird the way that he does. It could also mean that he's from space too, because usually when they talk about these special races here, I think it indicates that they come from space or like one of the neighboring planet things that are around Earth, kind of like the Birkins, the Skypians, the Shandians. I wouldn't be surprised if Kuma is also like a special space race, and this possibly means that Bonnie is half special race as well. Zoro and Brooks stayed on the ship, but everyone else got new clothes. So that's odd, because Zoro was kind of like the big element of them meeting up with Vegapunk here, or at least Punk 1, Shaka the Good, which they are meeting up with here, I'm assuming, because 2 chapters ago, Zoro talking to Lilith was like, hey Vegapunk, we've got some demands, and you're going to listen, got that? And then we saw, Punk 1, Shaka the Good saying, that's fine, bring him here, I have an interest in that crew. So why is Zoro staying on the ship? At the end of the chapter, Shaka talks to Dragon. Shaka says he, Vegapunk, will probably die soon. So another massive reveal here. Why is Vegapunk or Shaka talking to Dragon? Well, there's a few reasons. So first of all, he's meeting up with part of the crew here, I'm assuming, and he says, I have interest in that crew. So he definitely knows that Luffy is the leader of the crew and that he is the son of Dragon. But how is he talking to Dragon? So it's possible that he's communicating through the main Kuma pacifista thing that Dragon currently has, because they rescued him from Mary Schwa. So that's very possible, but also another possibility is that Vegapunk has always had ties to the Revolutionary Army and that he's like in cahoots with them, and maybe that's one of the reasons why CP0 is going after him, because maybe they found that out, possibly, other than him just knowing too much. And also I assume that's why he's saying that he will probably die soon, because he assumes that CP0 is going to take him out, or at least he knows that they're trying to. I'm assuming we're seeing Dragon as well, and I don't know if this is necessarily going to lead to Dragon coming to Egghead and meeting Luffy and everything, but man, just super exciting stuff here. Can't wait to see what happens next. Hopefully we'll get a summary tomorrow. I'll make a video on that, but let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments, guys. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.